let's move on to embodied sovereignty. What actually is it? And one thing I want to say is I'm still exploring it and I'm still learning. It's still growing in me. But right now, this is what feels like quite a good way of describing it. The first thing is daring to wear your inner crown. There we go. I've got one here. Daring to put on your inner crown. And the minute you wear it, you stand out a bit from others. And that can be really scary to be seen like that, to be seen wearing a crown. But what does this crown actually mean? This is about a power within rather than a power over. This is an inner power, being able to walk and talk your truth in the world. The minute I put this on, I'm not sure if you noticed, but my spine goes up straight, the chest opens a bit, the heart is a bit more front and center. So it's about being in touch with our desires, our needs, and our wants, and being able to move towards them. It's about being able to set boundaries and to say no. It's about being able to inhabit our emotional fluency, to move through the range of our emotions without getting overtaken by them. And it's about experiencing all of that, not in some kind of psychopathic, I do what I want, screw you guys kind of Cartman way. It's about having all of that and being able to sense and respond, staying connected to the world the whole time, staying connected. And actually, Kat, would you put that slide up for me of the tiger? Because I love the tiger. Sorry, I'm putting you on the spot there, Kat. I was going to do this.
I'm handing that one to Joyce. I think Joyce.
Okay.
To that.
Great.
We'll get it up. Don't worry.
We'll get it up. So I love this picture we're about to see. There's this sense of inner power which is truthful but not so reactive. Like if someone comes to you and they start shouting at you, it's very easy to go into this defensive shouty mode. But it's something else to just be able to respond without reacting, but firmly and clearly. Now, I love this tiger. Some of you might have seen Ilan Stefani's presentation. She was talking to people about, feeling the tag. Feeling as a tiger, yeah. I love it. This tiger is powerful and whole and relaxed. It's not doing anything to please other people. It's connected to itself. It's sensing and responding to the world. So there's this inner power. It's not threatening, but it's powerful and it's whole. And that's why I wanted to show you this tiger. Give me a shout if you enjoy tigers. If you like the tiger, pop that in the chat. Thanks, Joyce. Can we come back to the main screen now? Thank you. I'm going to take this off for now, and I'm gonna put it out into the internet so you guys can now wear your inner crowns for the rest of this presentation and maybe beyond. So why do we need embodied sovereignty? Like, surely as human beings, this is so important. This should be built into the way that we behave. Now, what I love about Gabor Maté, I mean, there's so much I love about him. He puts it so simply. He puts it like this. As humans, we have two fundamental needs: the need for attachment to others and the need to be authentic with ourselves. And as we're born, we need that connection to others, right? We rely on our parents or adults to feed us and clothe us and protect us and look after us. We're not able to feed ourselves. And we learn when we do certain behaviors that the adults like us and want us around and people want to be with us. And when we do other behaviors, we get rejected. And this rejection can feel like death. Let's put in the chat. What does it feel like to you when you're rejected by someone? It's just what does it feel like to be rejected? Yeah, shrinking, self-hate, shame, painful, devastating, inner world crumbles, loss. I fear I'm a bad person, misery, disappointed, especially when I put my soul into it. Yeah. Feels like falling down a cliff, diminishing, unworthy. Yes. Yes. Start to reject myself. Death. Feeling a failure, not valuable enough. Self-loathing. Yes. Yes. I relate to all of those. I relate to all of that. We learn to reject others. That's a great defense. So what I want to say is that is it's painful. And our personalities develop in order to avoid pain and to move towards, let's say, comfort a bit more. So we learn to avoid rejection by behaving in a way that we think other people are going to like and accept and love. And this is a very clever and useful and good strategy, especially as children. This is really important for us. But we get a bit older and the need for authenticity starts to show up because we realize, oh, doesn't really feel like myself. Pretending to be vegan. I mean, I'm not really vegan, but I'm not sure if I really want to be vegan to be in this relationship with this person. You know, maybe that's not quite me, or maybe I don't really want to do these things. Like I remember, and this wasn't that long ago, I spent about two years with this one particular group of people, trying really hard to fit in and take on all their opinions and viewpoints. And I was so focused on that. And after a couple of years, I realized I don't actually like these people. I don't actually agree with a lot of their worldview and opinion. And this just feels weird. You know, has anyone had an experience like that? Please pop that in the chat. This idea that, yeah, we are painfully, we avoid our authenticity in order to fit in. Yeah, great. So this is a problem. We are not taught how to be authentic, and it's a risk to be authentic. We don't want to be rejected. We don't get that muscle trained. And because we don't get that muscle trained, basically there's a level at which we switch from being able to be authentic and we go back into our default pattern. And because we're not stretching these authenticity muscles and taking the risks and doing all of that, the level of intensity it takes to switch us into our default pattern can be quite low. And what is a healthy thing for us to do is to stretch that range. If you're with me, can you let me know in the chat that you're with me on this? Thanks. And if we really want to show up and look after ourselves in the world, well, we need to look after ourselves in the world. And so we need to be authentic. So we need to know how to look after our own needs and our wants and our desires. And if we're shutting them down the whole time in order to fit in with others, we can end up feeling very strange and disconnected. In order to have healthy connection with others, as I mentioned before, we need to be able to set limits. We need to be able to talk about what we actually desire. And I want to give you a little, this might be a little sound bite. Authenticity is the lube for connection. Authenticity is the lube for connection. So if we really want to connect authentically with others, we need to be able to be authentic and say truthfully what we want and what we don't want. So, and when we do this, our relationships can flourish. When we can, there's a lovely little German story. Unfortunately, I don't know the German for it. I could do it in a German accent maybe. but it's along the lines of there's a couple, and every day the man goes and buys a bagel and gives his wife the top half of the bagel for 20 years. That's the part that he really likes. And so he gives it to her. And for 20 years, she accepts the top half of the bagel, even though she prefers the bottom half of the bagel. And she thinks that she's doing it for him, you know, and it's really messy. Like it's just not how we want to live. I don't think it's good to live like that. I think it's good to be honest and clear. When we get in our authenticity, in our embodied sense of sovereignty, we carry it with us. We're wearing our inner crown. It can become invisible. Then we start feeling safer around other people. I used to have great anxiety around being in groups. Are they going to like what I do? Are they not going to like me? Should I do this to fit in? Should I do that? All my energy was out there worrying about fitting in, and none of it was just in the body, relaxing into the body, being in the body. When we settle into this embodied sovereignty, we are okay to be with others. We feel safer around others. And here's the flip side of that, which is really important as well. Other people start to feel safer around us. If people can see that we have good, clear boundaries, that when we say no, they can trust our no. When we say yes, they can trust our yes. They find it easier. Then the nervous system settles and relaxes. And again, we can cultivate more connection.